Everybody, or afternoon as it currently is. Today is the day we finally have a date for this year's IAS event. IAS standing for International Association of Scientologists, and yes, that means this is finally the time I get to announce this year's IAS Protest. How exciting. We all know that we've all known it's going to happen. We didn't have a date, and now we can confirm the date shall be the 31st of October of this year. So 3 weeks from now, we will be gathering at the gates of Saint Hill, Scientology's UK headquarters, to send a message to current Scientologists that we are there for them. There is a community of people here to support them if they decide to leave. And our overarching message this year shall be, we come back. Because despite Scientology's best efforts over the last 18 months, they failed at their bid to ban protesting outside this event. It was a very large portion of my life was spent over the last year defending our right to protest, our freedom of speech, our freedom of assembly. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Scientology applied for a public spaces protection order to ban protesting outside Scientology's headquarters. That bid failed. Mid-Sussex District Council sent observers to last year's protest and analysed our behaviour, the way we were engaging in protest, and assessed whether or not there was any sort of antisocial behaviour, and they ruled that there was not. We are free to protest, and we shall be doing so again this year because the protest ban failed. However, there will be council observers this year, so it is important, as always, to make sure that we are remembering the number one rules of protesting, being kindness and compassion at the forefront of everything we're doing. I'm going to share some news about the event and about the protest for those of you who want to come along. We will rush through it all because I do have to be somewhere very shortly, but first, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. Lou Peter, catch you on the replay. PTS for life. Jeff from Canada is here. Halloween night seems fitting for such a spooky event. I wonder if all the Scientologists will dress up in costumes. Indeed, costumes are encouraged this year. It is a Halloween IES event. It's the first time that I'm aware that has ever happened. So, of course, costumes, fancy dress are encouraged. Hans Christian Schwartz, good evening. Jeff is saying here, imagine the disappointment of being a young child of a Scientologist. Sorry, little Billy, no trick or treating this year. We have to go watch a tiny man talk for 3 hours. Yes, I can imagine the disappointment among Scientologists, especially children. Mark the Dorset SP, afternoon Alex and crew, 31st of IS Spooky, going on at Saint Hill. Rachel Harris is here. Jojo Banana's in the house. Thank you so much. Zenuite, I am at the live. Yes, very good, very strong. Ms. Freedom is here as well. Mary K. London, hi, finally, exactly. So first off, let's watch the video that announced the date of this year's IES event. I mean, I'm just going to pause there for a second because I would argue that the most unstoppable moment was us protesters showing up, regardless of Scientology's attempts to ban us. But anyway. So there we have it. That is Scientology's announcement video announcing this year's IAS event on the 31st of October. And of course, our announcement is that we will be there too, protesting whether they like it or not. And our message is we come back. So anybody is free to attend this protest. It is open to all. I'm not the protest police. Anybody has a right and a freedom to protest and a freedom of speech in this country. However, if you do intend on taking part in the protest that I am organising outside Saint Hill at this IES event, there are a few things that you need to know beforehand, and the place to get your information for that is iasprotest.com. This is the website that I set up about the protest with information about what's going on. As you can see there, our motto this year is we come back. And here is the registration form. So a lot of people ask about this registration form every year. The reason we have a registration form is because I have to negotiate and liaise with Sussex Police and a number of other local authorities to get the permits and everything required to make this protest happen. And one of the things that the police always ask is how many people are going to be showing up and how are they going to be getting there and leaving the site after the protest. And so this registration form is for me to get an idea of how many people will be showing up and how they intend on getting there. It's also got some links in there to the voluntary code of conduct, which we'll talk about in a second. So it's not compulsory. This form is not something that you have to fill out, but it is something that would be really helpful if you did fill out if you wanted to attend. Because safety is our number one priority, and we want to make sure that everybody protesting is safe. We have an appropriate sized area on the public highway, and we need to make sure that there is no antisocial behavior or anything like that at the protest. So this form allows me to have an idea of how many people are going to be showing up, and also allows me to keep you up to date with information about what's happening at the protest. If there are any last minute changes, the exact place that we're going to be meeting and the timings and that sort of thing. So if you would like to attend in person, I ask that you do please fill out this form. If you don't want to fill out the form, that's also absolutely fine. But please do just let me know that you intend on coming so I have an idea of numbers. The information captured in this form will not be shared with the police in terms of your personal data. It's just an idea of how many numbers. And so I have some stats that I can give the police so they understand how big our protest is going to be. There's also a page here for event information. If you click on that, it will give you all the data about where we shall be marching, the times, the rules, and so on. Now, the reason we have rules is because, as I mentioned earlier, the Church of Scientology attempted to ban protesting outside Saint Hill last year through a public spaces protection order. It wasn't a ban on me and the people who show up to the protest that I organised last year. It wasn't a ban on a specific group of people. It would have been a ban on all protesting outside Saint Hill. And of course, I fought that with every fibre of my being. It cost a lot of money. It cost the taxpayer £84,000. And it was a year-long process from start to finish, at which council observers watched our activities and assessed whether or not there was antisocial behaviour and whether there was cause to ban protesting. And we did win that battle. However, it is important as a result of the PSPO that we place a lot of emphasis on the importance of protesting peacefully and legally. So an outcome of the PSPO process was that we came up with a voluntary code of conduct that the council have agreed to for protesters to abide by. And all it basically says is I won't break the law, I won't harass people, I won't abuse people or shout abuse at people, I won't try and jump the fence and try and get onto Scientology's property or anything like that. It basically says that you agree to keep things peaceful and keep things legal. So that is the rule that governs our protest, and if we don't follow those rules, the council can ban our right to protest, and that would affect anybody and everybody outside Saint Hill, and it would make it a criminal offence to protest. So it is really important that we keep an eye on our behaviour, that we follow the rules, that we engage in a peaceful protest, and that's why it's so important that if you do plan on showing up, you familiarise yourself with the rules and you show up with the best intentions. We are not protesting Scientology's so-called religious beliefs. We are protesting their behaviors. It's totally okay for somebody to choose to be a Scientologist. We have freedom of belief in this country. We are not protesting those beliefs. We are protesting the abusive behavior. We are saying it's time for the abuse to stop within the organization. And that slight differentiation is really important for this protest. So our message is, regardless of what Scientology throw at us, we will keep coming back, and we will keep protesting, and we will keep doing so with kindness and compassion at the forefront of our activism. And we want to send a message to current Scientologists that there is a community of people here ready, able, and willing to support them if they choose to leave. We will be promoting the Aftermath Foundation, we'll be promoting the helpline, and we'll be passing out cards and leaflets and things with information on them. We will also be carrying signage, which again has to be pre-approved by the police. So there's a lot that goes into the organising of this protest, and I'm really, really excited about this year. I think we've got a lot in store for us this year. I think it's going to be really fun, and it is really going to be a great thing that it's on Halloween, because we get to wear costumes and dress up and all that sort of thing. For those of you wondering what the IAS event is, it's the largest fundraising event in Scientology's calendar annually. It is a large European international event where thousands of Scientologists travel from across the world to hear reclusive leader Captain David Miscavige speak. And we will be there with our message that we will help them leave if they want to leave. So kindness and compassion at the forefront. I will keep harping on about that because it is really, really important. If you want more information about the protest, please head to IASprotest.com. If you want to support the protest, we want to get a few things this year. For example, we'd like to get some new signage. We'd like to get some traffic cones. And perhaps most fun of all, we would like to get a bagpiper. Now, last year and the year before, Scientology played repetitive bagpipe music really loud on their speaker system, pointed directly at protesters all day, every day, for the whole 3 days that their event was going on. And we didn't complain about that. It was annoying. It was a bit of a nuisance. But the police and the council did suggest that that was not the best thing for Scientology to be doing. But they did make it clear Scientology clearly like bagpipes. So I thought, if we could raise the money this year, how about we bring an actual bagpiper with us to march us down the road as protesters and welcome the beginning of the protest to Saint Hill. So if you would like to donate towards these things, I have set up a wish list item on buymeacoffee.com/apostatealex. The link is in the description, and it's on the IAS Protest website, where you can donate towards those sorts of things. If we raise enough money, we can make it really fun. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. We're still going to show up and protest. We do have signs from the previous years. The things that we've added onto the wish list are kind of wonderful, great extras that if we can afford it, we'll make it happen. But that's the way you can support the protest if you can't be there in person. You can donate to the Aftermath Foundation and so on. And you can also, support in the live chat. T, a voice down under, is asking, are we allowed megaphones? Is there a decibel level to adhere to? There is no restriction on noise other than the law that's around public nuisance. So if you create a public nuisance, if you use the megaphone to shout abuse or harass Scientologists, then that is something that would be considered illegal. The police will be present on the day, and they will be the ones that will decide what is and isn't allowed. We have used a megaphone in the past, but we don't use it all day. We don't use it all the time. We just use it periodically and sporadically, because that is something that would be considered legal, because we're not creating a public nuisance. So absolutely brush up on the protest laws and rules before you show up. There's links to websites that tell you all about those on the website. It would be great if we have lots of people there, and it would be great if we can all work together and have a wonderful time. It is really important that we send Scientologists this message, that it is possible to be happy and to have fun outside of Scientology. And that's why we're going to have fun with the march as well. So for those of you who don't know, based on previous years, we don't just gather outside the gates of Saint Hill. We actually organise a protest march. We meet in the town centre of East Grinstead, and we walk along the road, down Turners Hill Road, up the High Street, Turners Hill Road, and then onto Saint Hill Road, where we get a police escort down the road to arrive outside the gates of Saint Hill. So it is a big affair that is very well organised, is what the council said anyway. Thank you so much to the council who said that. So yeah, we do get together and we have fun. We have a march, and then for the Saturday and the Sunday, we arrive and we just protest at the gates. There is no march element, but because of that, there are strict rules in place about giving notice to the council and so on. I have today given Sussex Police and the Mid Sussex District Council the formal notifications that we will be protesting, and they have also asked that you get in contact with us and you confirm your attendance so that we know numbers. So that's it from me, just a short one, but I can assure you that IAS Protest will be happening on Friday the 31st of October. We do indeed come back.